Now I'm smelling like perspirin.
I did. Where's 24/7 surf protection?
You did this to my pits.
It's the NFL 2025 release schedule. Schedule release, yeah. So,
You're a perfectionist.
woo! It's a lot of tough schedules for certain teams.
You inspire Lexus to
So, who's got big?
because a car that doesn't make you feel something is a car that stops short of amazing.
Yeah.
The W is back, and we can't get enough. The reigning champs are better than ever. We play just like it's a real. In Vegas, they're playing with a hot new hand.
Joe's a complete dog on both sides of the floor.
Then it's showtime for the WNBA's brightest stars. Aces at Liberty at 1, Sky at Fever at 3. Saturday.
Ooh, a doubleheader for the women's basketball side, huh? I'm definitely going to be watching Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky.
They call you a hero.
I want to watch that one.
They say words like legend and dynasty, but when you've won it all 7 times, the trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of Ram trucks. Ram, 7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Right now, well-qualified current FCA lessees can lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $399 a month. See your Twin Cities Ram dealer today.
There were 2 guys. Both guys drove to work. Neither guy wore their seatbelt. One guy got
And I thought the NFL schedule would be for Thursday, but it's tonight.
Both guys drove home from work.
So I'm doing this instead in AEW.
One guy didn't. One guy made it home. One guy didn't.
You're watching the Sportscenter special presented by Nationwide.
For the first time since January 5th, 1992, these Detroit Lions are going to win a playoff game.
Is it hard to lose those guys? Absolutely. They're part of what we've been here.
The brilliant offensive head coach, and it works. That means you've got your play caller for years and years and years.
I want a dude that's got a fire to him.
Ben Johnson, we know, an offensive mind, a star that a lot of people have had their eye on.
He's going to be hired as the next head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Then, walked in, this morning, flung open the door.
What's up, DRRWIN? What's up?
Amount of respect.
What's up, Jake?
Coaches and Campbell, Kevin O'Connell. I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
Good.
There's more of that. Let me explain. So I went and asked LaFleur, and I'm like, Ben Johnson, that's when you guys went. LaFleur was, I never met Ben Johnson in my life. So it's almost like just a shot. And I think that rivalry might have needed a shot the way this is going. So those are not this is not like the McVay tree, like Ben Johnson and LaFleur are buddies. They're not buddies. And he just took a shot at him in his opening press conference.
Even if it doesn't
Hit that like, share, and subscribe at T-Bechilln, guys.
At least maybe the back of LaFleur. He's not going to let it get him in any other way, but to maybe have some revenge. All right, so that Ben Johnson, he's going to play a reunion game twice against the Lions. Peter, start us off with the 2025 reunion games to start.
Well, they played twice.
I'm from USA. What about you?
Johnson was
Smash.
goes into Chicago. They did that fake fall from Jahmyr Gibbs and then golf through the bomb pass, and it was like, I'm going to put it.
Lions versus Bears, week 2 and 18. I got the Lions though.
Well, now you got to go face that former team. Can the Lions function the same without him? Are the Bears going to be what we hope they are with Ben Johnson?
You think this game will be personal week 7 between
USC, yeah, and you can get up out of here, dude.
exactly where he belongs right now in New England, and he is going to work on this roster. They jumped right into it with free agency, revamping the defense.
You see what this guy said? Let me show this chat. Take him out the group. Take him.
Because he got some help on the offensive line for his quarterback Drake May. And I'll tell you what, Cam Ward, when he goes in there, I'll tell you what, be ready now. Or rather, when the Patriots took out the Titans, Cam, be ready. He's coming.
How about the Vikings and Seahawks? And the fact that, Sam Darnold's got to be a little bit torn this game. It's like Minnesota gave him the chance.
Nice, the Philippines. I got to come there one time.
Be unbelievably grateful for that. But at the same time, you just kicked me out of the door, essentially. You chose to go with the young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, and does he have a little bit of a certainly grateful but edge on his or in his kind of neck to say, I was the guy you should have kept?
How about Cooper Kupp going up against his former Rams team in weeks 11 and week 16?
Wow.
He's on a 3-year deal with the Seahawks after 8 seasons with the Rams.
My football team is the Tennessee Titans.
For him to go up against his former Ram team that he spent 8 seasons with, this will be a big reunion matchup. Cooper Kupp versus the Rams.
I know we keep calling these reunions. There's a little bit of revenge to them, too. I mean, I think about Pittsburgh and New York and Justin Fields.
What's your football team?
He played exactly the way that they
Oh, week 1 still said Jets.
And then, hey, we're going to move on to Russell Wilson, and it ends up.
Much as hate both teams, I got the Steelers. Jets not even ready to be a team yet.
Now your opportunity head to head.
Panthers pretty cool.
Once again, I was the guy that you should have continued to ride because I had played good football.
Thanksgiving, Packers at Lions, Chiefs at Cowboys, Bengals at Ravens, Black Friday, Bears at Eagles. That's the holiday. 3 games on Thanksgiving, 1 on Friday.
Premier games in the NFL season. This is 2 of the best teams in all of the NFL.
I might post it on Facebook, YouTube, as opposed to let people know this is the schedule. And YouTube did a deal. I was watching TV today. The first game of the week of the season, you get to watch for free on YouTube. They're talking about the week 1 games. Depends on you want to watch for free. Thanksgiving, Chiefs at Cowboys. I got the Cowboys. I hate the Chiefs. I watch the NBA. I'm a Lakers fan. Who's your team? LA Lakers, man.
And just try to mow down the Dallas Cowboys defensive line. And how about the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens? The Ravens have been pretty good on Thanksgiving.
Okay, so Ravens, Bengals at Ravens. That's a Thursday night game too.
This should be a great matchup between
Hornets.
2 AFC North teams to cap off what might be maybe the most attractive Thanksgiving slate that we can remember.
Nothing wrong with that.
Memory, great way to finish it up. That's the dessert.
What's the last one? Come on, talk about the last one.
Okay, first you said that. The jingle bells. That means we're talking about the
Christmas.
all the holidays here.
Ooh, Christmas came early for the Vikings.
3 this year, as you can see.
Lions at the Vikings.
Lions, Vikings, Broncos at
Yes, sir.
How about this? The top 5
That's the game I'm.
this season. This is kind of the list you don't want to be.
You all good, man. I feel you. I'm a Titans fan.
2024 may not
I know it's like to be an ass.
New York has the hardest strength of schedule
For my
in the
team, yep,
NFL
I know.
based on their opponents' records last year. It's the hardest by any team entering a season in the last 5 years. So, the man that is tasked with that schedule is quarterback Russell Wilson. He's joining us now. Russ, thank you so much for joining the show. I know you've had a chance to sit here and really comb over this schedule. I just told you, based on the metrics, this is the hardest schedule in the NFL. You've never been a guy who's shied away from
I hope the Titans be good. I
I've
seen that schedule and they got.
Man, I'm looking forward to
As much as I love the Titans, they got a hard schedule.
Man, we're having a good time in phase 2 right now, about to go into phase 3.
I posted.
The only way to win a bunch of games is to focus on right now.
All right, thank you, XT.
During the season, or
Thanks for coming by in the stream, buddy.
looking forward to the opportunity of playing. We're looking forward to the opportunity of competing against all these really good teams and who we can be.
Russ, we so appreciate you coming in here on an evening where you can be doing anything else and joining us to talk about this. I got to ask, you've been with a lot of different quarterbacks, coaches, a lot of different offensive coordinators. What's the vibe with you?
Love you too, bro. Thank you.
So far, just a month into your relationship working in a hand-to-hand basis.
Man, Dave is awesome to be around, man. He just he's so creative about all the different things he thinks about, how he sees the game. He's obviously coached guys like Josh. He's coached other guys like Jalen Hurts and just different players along the way. He's been around some all-time greats, and just I think the big thing for me is just just learn the system in a great way, man. It's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of guys who are young, talented. I'm really excited about guys like Jalen Hyatt. Really excited about guys like Wandale, what he can do, tight ends like Theo and Bellinger. Just, I think our backs, man, they're talented. They can make plays. I think Trace and we call him Motor, but Motor can make some plays. I think we got a good chance. And I think the big part of it is just us learning everything we can. I think the experience that I try to bring to the table and all the great times, also some of the tough stuff too. You know, I've been through some tough stuff, but that just makes you better. And I'm looking forward to who we can be and what we can do.
Ross, what's up, man? You've been with some really good receivers. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, George Pickens. Neighbors has this unbelievable rookie season. What do you love about him?
What I love about him, man, he can make every freaking play. This guy is a rock star. I mean, he can catch a screen like he did against Indy and take it to the crib. I mean, he can make people miss just like you see here in the Commanders game. I mean, the guy can go and make any contested catch. His unique ability to make plays, one-on-one contested plays, you know, down the field, in the quick game, all the things he can do. I mean, just he has a double move against the Dallas Cowboys. You see him make a play, you know, just this play right here, him taking to the house, just all the multiplicity of things that he's capable of. Yeah. And so you bring his talent and what he's able to do, man, he strikes fear in the defense. And so I'm looking forward to playing with Neighbors for sure.
Wait, really fast, Adam. I gotta get Russ. That was so seamless. You're referencing the play on the screen.
You can tell he's watched the tape. You can tell he's watched the tape.
Good, man.
A lot of tape.
Yeah, well, I know, but just really cool. Go ahead, Adam.
Hello, Ross. How you doing? We've been talking about the start of the season at Washington, at Dallas. They were talking about the strength of schedule being the toughest in the NFL, and you don't play at home until week 3 against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard to imagine the NFL could have concocted a more challenging start of the season than the one that they're giving to you. How do you feel about those types of matchups so early on?
Well, I think the thing about this division, there's a lot of talented teams, man. There's a lot of great football teams, but we got to bring our best every week. And I think the only way to do that is focusing on right now. I think the opportunity in front of us is a tough, uphill battle, but at the end of the day, we're willing to climb it. We're willing to face all the challenges. And, for me personally, I've been in some tough divisions before. I don't fear it. Playing in the NFC West back in the day, I remember coming in early in my career, just playing some of those 49er defenses and just different teams we had to play. I mean, just the opponents and the challenges and the big moments, man. You're a competitor. You don't want it any other way. And I want to play the best. We got to be the best. You got to try to beat the best, and you got to do everything you can. And so, what we're seeking is a tough task, but it's possible. And so I think the best thing we can do is how do we make it possible is we got to do the work right now. And that's the thing we're focused on.
Russ, I know everybody asks you about offense all the time, naturally as a quarterback, but look, you played on teams that have had some great defenses, and in particular some great defensive fronts. Now, I know it's early on as far as you being around these guys, but I just said earlier in this show, you guys have a defensive front, a defensive line room that can knock some quarterbacks out. Does that excite you? What are you seeing from that group in and of itself that you think could really rise up and surprise some people in terms of you guys' abilities to really shock some people in your division this year?
Louis, I had to go against these guys last year. The pass rush is real. I mean, just when you think about obviously Dexter Lawrence, see Dexter, rushing the passer, he's hard to block. It takes 2-3 guys to try to block him. Obviously Burns coming off the edge, Tibbs coming off the edge. Just the playmakers that we have. Obviously the addition of Abdul Carter and who he is as a player, what he was able to do in college. We're excited about what he can bring. And I just think the versatility. I think about all the great teams, in NFL over the years. It always really is always that defensive line front and what they're able to do and cause havoc on the quarterback. And so, we're looking forward to those guys causing a lot of havoc and getting us a short field and making a lot of plays.
Russ, what was your first meeting like with Jackson Dart?
Jackson's great, man. He's fun. He's entertaining. He's a young, bright kid, man. I'm looking forward to working with him. I'm looking forward to, whatever way I can mentor him and help him too as well. And so that's going to be a lot of fun too. So, for me, I just love the journey of practice and ball and just doing everything I can to be my best every day and helping him in whatever way I can, possible.
Russ, it's been a couple months now. You're getting settled. We saw you at the Knicks game. Have you enjoyed the New York City experience yet? And what has it been like seeing and hearing from Giants fans out in the streets?
Well, it's so funny because I've been watching the Knicks game all night.
Darren Harris signed 2 extension with the Ravens?
I'm like, what's the score?
Are you serious?
It's fun, man. Just New York City,
Ravens suck anyway.
My uncle, he ended up passing away, but he was a big time lawyer in New York for a long time and everything else. And I always came to New York. I always loved New York City because he was always here. He's just an amazing individual. I mean, he always wore a Yankees hat. And it doesn't matter if he's come to, back in the day when I was starting as a young rookie, he'd come to I remember I played this game in Chicago as a rookie. He came to the game. He wouldn't take his Yankees hat off. I was like, you got to at least put, this beanie on, Seahawks beanie on or something, And so I've always loved New York. I've always loved, obviously, the Yankees. I've always, being a Yankee, obviously being a New York Giant now, man, what a privilege, what an honor. This team's been going since 1925, man. It's a blessing to be a part of it and the traditions and what that means. And a guy like Eli Manning coming to talk to us, a guy who I got to compete against many a times, who I really respect, talking to us as players the other day and what it takes to be a Giant and what that means. And so, I'm looking forward to it and all the great things and also the obstacles and all that. But New York City, the great city to be in.
That's well said, Russ. By the way, the score right now, 81-70 Celtics on top.
Schefter needs to go back to watching
whatever,
the game. Go back to watching the game.
Spot on the couch you were sitting in for Knicks fans, go sit back there. And we appreciate you so much for joining us here. Can't wait to watch you in New York, Russ. Thanks again.
What's up?
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Patrick
All right,
Katia,
we got a lot more
what's
coming
up?
your way still. Great interview so far.
That was awesome. Two for two.
Let's do it. Let's see if we can keep doing that. All right, we'll be right back. It's time to check in on the Kansas City Chiefs. Will Mahomes bring his magic back another season? We dive into Kansas City's notable games next and how it factors into a potential Super Bowl run. We'll be right back.
Kansas City not going to repeat. I'm doing good on you. Watching the NFL schedule release.
Pizza Hut's Cheesy Bites Pizza.
Oh, no, what team's going to play who, so I can try to keep up doing live streams.
Every single bite is a hot
All 32 teams.
starting at $12.99. Get it on the Pizza Hut app.
They got one for Thursday night and Friday night. Eagles and Cowboys, the first game open night. I'm going to try to do that one. And I'm going to try to do a Friday night stream for the second, yeah.
Have you always had trouble with your weight? Me too.
Discover the power of Wegovy. With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds.
Thank you.
And some lost over
Who going to win what? You talking about in football this year?
Reducing my risk.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Wegovy is the only way
I would decide from that opening night who I think may stay hot
adults with known heart disease and obesity.
from the beginning of opening night. Open to week 18. I want the Cowboys to win that night, but they won't.
Stop taking and get medical help.
Eagles got their number.
Swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or any of these allergic reactions. Serious side effects may include pancreas inflammation and gallbladder or severe stomach problems.
I know for that Monday night, I got the Vikings at the Bears. I got the Vikings.
Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Call your prescriber about vision changes, if you feel your heart racing while at rest, or if you have mental changes. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Common side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, stomach pain, flu or upset, headache, feeling tired, dizzy or bloated, gas, and heartburn. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it on.
I'm lowering my CV risk. Ask your prescriber about Wegovy. It won't take you to space. It brings space to you. Introducing the 3-row, all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 9. With class-leading interior space. We are ready for the new era here.
It is adrenaline. It's exciting. The stage electric.
No, you good.
Oh, baby, how beautiful is that?
You okay?
Welcome back to to our schedule release show. The wait is over. The countdown to kickoff has begun. Single game tickets for the 2025 NFL season on sale now. Visit NFL.com/tickets to purchase tickets today. Tickets available through the NFL Ticket Network, including Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, and Sports Illustrated tickets.
Oh, Seahawks gonna beat the Steelers. Patriots. Vikings.
What are the plans at quarterback for?
Wow.
It's a mandatory mini camp in June, and you have to figure that if there were a quarterback on the street who was considering retirement and wanted to play for Pittsburgh, that would be an ideal time to come into Pittsburgh before then. And if one Aaron Rodgers decided to come into Pittsburgh, there would be ample opportunities to have his own little revenge tour starting in week 1 at the Jets. Week 2, Seattle. We know the history he has with that organization.
It's a DK Metcalf
Week
revenge.
4, the Minnesota team that would not take the chance on him. Week 8, the Green Bay Packers. Week 12, the team
You be okay. Eat that Roman.
16. But why, like, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better schedule if you're Aaron Rodgers.
Did they make this schedule with Aaron Rodgers in mind? I mean, go ahead, Dan.
Let's be honest about the Steelers' schedule. To Shefty's point, the start, you're not playing just world beaters to start the season.
Not a murderer's row, Dan.
12 out of your 17 games, and I know every season's different, 12 out of your 17 games are against teams that did not make the playoffs last year, and the only game that they have that is against a playoff team from last year on the road is November 9th at the Chargers.
Where he can be in his precious Malibu and walking on the ocean.
So 5
Right before my birthday.
are against
All right.
opponents last year, only 5 that went to the playoffs.
I'll see you soon. Thanks for coming by and thank you for sub.
Those first 4 games before they get to the bye, every one of those teams.
Thanks, I will. You too.
You would take over Pittsburgh's. Every single one.
I mean, I think
How
you
many
could say that about.
well, that's my point. See, that's what to me throws everything up in the air for this football team.
That's a fair.
I don't care. We can assess the schedule and slice it 1,000 different ways. Every single team's quarterback situation right now on that right there.
Lewis,
Would you take Justin Fields?
Yeah.
wait a second. Look at that start of the schedule for the Steelers and imagine that Mason Rudolph is the quarterback.
Yeah, and you know
Feel
what?
like with what he's got around him, they would still do well there?
No.
No.
I think you're staring at 0-6.
I mean,
face.
like honestly, I mean, think about the Jets. I mean, I'll tell you what. Aaron Glenn will blitz him into oblivion. The Seahawks, Mike McDonald, it's a pretty good defensive coordinator, all right? And with the Patriots, Mike Vrabel, with that new defensive line up there in New England, the Vikings with Brian Flores, with the man, come on.
This is an offense.
Like that right there.
It's an offense that's only DK Metcalf.
Gotta charge this. I'll be right back.
It's on NFL Live. That's fascinating to see how many primetime games they would give the Steelers without knowing who the quarterback is. They don't have 8 primetime games. They don't have 10 primetime games. It doesn't feel like the NFL is saying, oh, this is a Super Bowl contender and Aaron Rodgers is that guy. It seems like this is a middle-of-the-road team. That's in the schedule they got.
Adam, give us that date again where we might see one Aaron Rodgers feel like he needs to show up for the minicamp.
I think the mandatory minicamp is June 10th to the 12th. And
Yes.
if that's the case, I think the clock starts on Aaron Rodgers about a week before, roughly. And if he doesn't show then,
Yeah.
How
Wow.
much?
I mean,
How much more? How much longer is Mr. Rooney going to wait for this? You know, I know. Well, the option. I mean, there's always another option, which is to say, hey, look, we're just going to move on, right?
it's not a
There's always
7th-round draft choice, but it's a 6th-round draft choice in Will Howard.
Hey,
can't forget him.
Ohio State fans will tell you Will Howard won a national.
I like Will Howard.
Okay,
Me too.
and he had some good football games. Look,
Maybe
quite
he's
honestly,
not
could
Mason
you
Rudolph.
see a scenario where Will Howard beats out Mason Rudolph?
Yeah,
and
I've
never
seen
started?
Davis
I can see that
Mills
happen.
start week 1.
No, I'm not. Of course, we've all seen quarterbacks start and go. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm saying head to head. Could Will Howard eventually be the best option for them?
It does illustrate the pickle that they are in. Right?
Absolutely.
As we're
They did
throwing
this to
these names
themselves.
together. They did. Yeah.
Rodgers said to the Giants, I have time I need. And the Giants said, we'll move on. We're fine. The Steelers said, you take your time.
Yeah, right.
They did
All right,
this.
Let's look at the Ravens schedule, you guys. We continue a little tour here around the AFC North. So the Ravens are in a really interesting spot. And we talked about this on NFL Live today, how they've been so close, but yet haven't been able to get it done. Ravens fans are tired of hearing that they're such a complete roster. I mean, Peter, you said that earlier. You think this is the most complete roster in the league. As you look at that schedule, how do you think they fare?
They always are a great regular season team. This is not fair to the Ravens that I'm saying this, but they're going to win 10 games. They're going to win 11 games. What now has become the standard is, what are you going to do in January and February? They save these weird, question, enigmatic finishes for the end of the season when they usually get hot during the season. So this is a loaded schedule. We can go game by game if we want. The truth of the matter is, I think we're all looking at January and what that team's going to do and then put it all together when it matters most.
I point out the final 6 games again. I mean, that is a murderer's row. You get the Bengals twice, you got the Packers. We'll see what the Steelers are. They're going to have a good defense. New England's going to be much improved. So that final 6-game stretch is tough.
I'm trying to go to that one to play the Vikings. I want to go to that one.
They can play it however you want. You want to spread it out. You want to pack it in.
They don't play the Packers till week 17.
This is about a mentality.
Wow.
It's about making plays when they need to make plays. We've seen it. We've been down there a couple different times talking to the football team. And you sit there and you watch them and you go, how do they lose? How do they lose games? It's totally mental. I don't know how to really evaluate that.
They're definitely going to lose to the Bills that Sunday night. Browns. Now they can beat the Browns, but the Lions, that's another loss. Chiefs, they're going to win that one. Texas, another loss. Rams, another loss. I got Baltimore going.
Let's talk about Cincinnati a little bit, okay? The Bengals won 5 straight to end last season, but missed the playoffs at 9-8, largely because of their slow start. We talked about it so much last year that they were an offense that deserved to be in a championship at the very least, and their defense is what let them down. But it's been a common theme for Cincinnati recently. In the last 3 years, the Bengals 5-10 in the first 5 weeks of the season compared to 25-10 the rest of the way. Dan, how do they start a little faster this year? Trey Hendrickson, of course, still out there. They haven't figured that out, but they did, of course, make sure they're going to have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow.
Have to win week 1, obviously. I actually think that this schedule sets up decently for them because we've talked about Cincinnati's slow starts, but also new defensive coordinator Al Golden. Defense was the issue last year. You play 2 teams offensively. Right now that you sit here and go, I'm not necessarily overly concerned about them. Minnesota week 3, we'll see what J.J. McCarthy becomes, but we don't know how good their offense will be. Denver, defensive-led football team. So you're thinking about September, you don't have to play an unbelievably explosive offense till you get to that 5-6 stretch with Detroit and Green Bay.
Yeah, you figure they have the assets and the continuity on offense to be able to deal with all those teams right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And maybe, considering the quarterback questions in Cleveland, we don't know how Trevor's going to react to Liam Cohen. We don't know about J.J. yet. We know about Bo Nix, but you know what? Hey, I think Cincinnati has a chance to kind of jump out there early on and let their defense and let Al Golden, the new defensive coordinator, get them going.
And they've been the slowest starting team in the NFL, bar none. And so this is a great chance to go quick.
They missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, and this is Joe Burrow's time. Like, if you start missing the playoffs 1, 2, 3 years in a row, I'm not putting you in that conversation with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Like, Burrow's that guy, but this should be a playoff team with that roster and that schedule.
You see week 1 at the Browns. Let's talk about the Browns. I mean, Adam, this quarterback room is one that has us all fascinated. What would you say is your prediction about who ends up being the starting quarterback? Let's go down the line here. Who do you think is the starting quarterback for the Browns week 1 against the Bengals?
Put it on the spot,
Oh, boy.
I'll start. You want to start?
That's a loss week 14. The Browns going to lose to my Titans. Titans better win that one that day.
I either want to see if I struck gold and locked into it like teams like if Derek Carr did for the Raiders or Andy Dalton did for the Cincinnati Bengals or Jalen Hurts did for the Eagles.
Russ did.
Right.
The Seahawks.
Exactly. So I want to know if one of those guys, or I have 2 first-round picks next year, and I want to get to one of those 2 first-round picks for quarterback next year. So I'm starting one of those rookies, and they're going to play the great majority of my season.
For me, I think the question becomes who's really making the decision about who that quarterback, which quarterback's going to start. Okay, because look, offensive coordinators and head coaches want to win games. So if Joe Flacco is out there and he's leading the charge, and this offense is looking pretty good in training camp, Kevin Stefanski's going to go, hey, Mr. Haslam, yeah, Joe Flacco's the best quarterback we got. Well, if him and Andrew Berry go, hey, but you know what? We just kind of want to take a look at Dylan, want to take a look at Shador, and we want to see what we got here. I think that's the battle right there.
I'll just say this. It's very rare a team in 2025 will keep 4 quarterbacks. My bigger question is, who is it on the opening day roster?
That's the big thing. I think it's one of those 2 veteran quarterbacks, and I think the other veteran quarterback starts.
I can see that happening.
Will be there playing or cut?
They're already talking about it on the schedule. The Browns got 2 quarterbacks. They don't know who they want to go with first. And then for a while, I saw the Churn may go. Then it's Joe Flacco. And after that, if Deion Sanders' son don't play,
Exactly. Some teams going to be like, it's really no shot against Kenny Pickett. I think.
Super Bowl winner, Kenny Pickett.
Wait, you're making a lot of good points here. The reality is, the Browns are in an interesting situation. All right, let's talk about Kansas City a little bit. As we continue our tour around the NFL and their schedule release. The Chiefs fell short of becoming the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowls, but it's been quite a stretch for Kansas City, right? We can't discount what they have done. They've reached the Super Bowl in 5 of the
Kansas City going to choke this year.
They're 94 wins since 2019, including the playoffs, the most in any 6-year span.
I can see that happen. I can see that.
When they host the Eagles, this is how their schedule shakes out. Some notable games. Patrick Mahomes, 2-2 against Philadelphia in his career, and this is the 5th straight year these teams are playing in either a Super Bowl or the regular season. Some familiarity there for sure, even as the teams change. It's a potential Super Bowl preview in Week 6. The Lions head to Arrowhead. That's an early one to circle on the calendar. They were tied for the best.
Oh, that's a Sunday night game. Lions at the Chiefs. I'm going to watch that one too.
In Week 1 of 2023. Now the Chiefs head to Buffalo for an AFC Championship rematch. Week 9. Kansas City won 32-29 last season to advance to Super Bowl 59, and Mahomes improves to 4-0 in his career against the Bills in the playoffs. Listen, there's so many things you can look at with this team as we see their schedule in its entirety. But Louis, what are some challenges for the Chiefs as you look at the games that they're going to be playing? They've done their best to remake the old line. Of course, that was the big
They got the Broncos on Christmas. I don't hope the Broncos beat their ass.
You find out early, Week 2, definitely.
You sure do. Look, the Eagles find out whether or not the depth on their defensive line has taken a hit or not. They go to the Giants on a Sunday night game up there in northern New Jersey against that front. Look, every single game, the Ravens. Think about the waves of people they can send at your quarterback. The Jaguars. They can get after your quarterback.
And Tennessee, they're at Tennessee Week 16. Yeah. I need the Titans and Broncos to whoop the dog shit out of Kansas City.
Is going to be first and foremost evaluated.
Kansas City go to Tennessee on ooh-wee.
How's this offensive line coming off the ball? That's where it's going to start.
Ooh.
And I don't care which game you're talking about, because I promise you this, as soon as that Super Bowl is over, look, I know. You guys know I know Brett. I've known him for a long time. He was distraught. Right. Unconsolable about what happened in that football game. And they went to work on this offensive line now.
2 things that pop out to my mind. So it starts Week 5 at Jacksonville. Okay, Jacksonville's going to have to go through some growing pains. But then they get Detroit, the Raiders, and Commanders. They're all at home. And then they go to the Bills. So that's right before their bye week. So that 5-week stretch is not as brutal when it comes to you get Detroit at home, you get Washington at home. We all know Arrowhead's a very difficult place to play. And then I still am fascinated by the Christmas Day game, Denver at Kansas City. I'll keep saying this. I think this is the best division that Patrick has had to play in since he became their quarterback. Denver's going to be really good. The Chargers are going to be really good. I think the Raiders are going to be very competitive. And just that game, usually that game is like a get your guys in for a couple series type of thing and get them out. That game can determine the division.
Yeah, exactly. Denver's played them tough a lot of times, too, even when they weren't nearly as good. Week 5, by the way, Monday Night Football, that Jacksonville game. Go ahead, Peter.
The Chiefs play in prime time 5 times in the first 8 weeks. It's the first time in NFL history a team has had to do that. They also play on Black Friday. They also play on Christmas. If you were sick of the Chiefs and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce last year, buckle up, folks. It's going to be a lot of Chiefs, and it's going to be a lot of Chiefs in national solo primetime windows. They're going for it again. They were, as Lewis said, they are furious with how that season ended last year, and they are on the revenge tour.
All right, shake it off. Oh, revenge.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness. I saw what you did, and then
Be right back.
Okay, off the cuff? I think we were off the cuff, yeah. Definitely Arrow's guy. All right, let's see the Broncos. You're talking about how good they could be. Year 2 for Bo Nix, what's most important?
I think for the year 2 for Bo Nix is making sure that Evan Ingram becomes an integral part of their offense. This is a really good offensive line. They're going to be able to run the football really good with Amari and Hampton. So also the understanding, the addition of Drake Greenlaw, the addition of Talanoa Hufanga, the addition of Jade Barron out of Texas. This is going to be a fantastic defense.
Tennessee at the Broncos Week 1. That's a win.
Chargers, year 2 for Jim Harbaugh. What does he need?
That's a win for my boys.
Some weapons in the run game. They went out and signed Najee Harris in free.
Week 9 we get the Chargers. Yes. Titans got the Chargers Week 9. That's a win.
Have 2 running backs chance to play the Chiefs week 1 in Brazil. Send a message. We'll see how that works out for the Chargers, but the second year in the Harbaugh should be even stronger from 11-16 last year.
Peter, the first year for Pete Carroll with the Raiders. What sticks out about their schedule?
It's all new. New head coach, new general manager, new
Raiders
new
at
fresh
Titans.
running back everyone's excited about. Pete is not
No,
here
Titans at the Raiders?
to win 2 games. Pete's here to compete, and remember his first few years in Seattle.
Oh, that's going to be tough.
Undrafted, late-round pick, stepping up and playing with a culture. I have no doubt the Raiders are going to bring it. I just don't know if that division's just too hard for them to be competitive this year.
Good point. They could make some other teams uncomfortable, though. Week 2, Monday Night Football against the Chargers. We can't wait for that one. And we're just flying around the NFL here on our schedule release show. Who runs the North? We head back to the NFC North. This division was loaded last season. Which team has what it takes to be on top in 2025? Find out next. We'll be right back.
Severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now I have Skyrizi.
And now I'm back in the picture. Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi helped visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And with Skyrizi, many were in remission at 12 weeks, at 1 year, and even at 3 years. Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Now's the time to take control of your Crohn's. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease. Hey, sweetie, you good?
Someone stole my Old Spice antiperspirant. Now I'm smelling like perspirant.
I did. Where's 24/7 sweat protection?
You did this to my bitch.
This is Formula One. The season continues in Monaco, Sunday, May 25th on ABC.
There's a new king of Queens after Juan Soto takes his talents crosstown.
Babe Ruth, Mets, Yankees. The superstar clash we've been waiting for on Sunday Night Baseball.
What's up, Chill Duck?
Memorial Day sale. Get your choice of an extra 10% off sale prices. Like this Blake sofa, now just $8.99. Or pay no interest for 3 years during the Memorial Day sale. Going on now at Home Furniture.
Do people really not know that Xfinity has mobile?
Isn't that marketing's job? I mean, they're concepting something.
I remember you last time, Chill Duck. How you been?
I think we could write a better commercial.
Fast, reliable, great value.
Tagline: say something funny. Commercial.
I do.
I think we just made a
How are you though?
Xfinity Mobile on us for
That's
a year.
good.
Right now, claim an unlimited 5G mobile line included with your Xfinity internet. Switch today.
Good.
Don't miss Home Seasonal Concepts Memorial Day patio sale. Get 10% off sale prices like this Thomas Cole dining set for $11.99. And top patio brands Homecrest and
I'm doing good.
Or choose no interest for 3 years. The Memorial Day patio sale at Home Seasonal Concepts.
All right.
You're watching this Sportscenter special.
Thanks for coming by.
Sam Darnold's now a Seahawk. Here's a look back at how he got there. We start in Minnesota. What's next for Sam Darnold?
The Minnesota Vikings officially did not use their franchise nor transition.
Thanks, I will. You too.
Sam Darnold agreeing to a 3-year, $110.5 million deal with the Seahawks.
I got to mention the receiving course, because otherwise, all that stuff that Sam did to rehabilitate his career in Minnesota is right out.
He's gone. J.J. McCarthy is the only quarterback on the roster.
J.J. McCarthy is going to be the starting quarterback.
He's exceeded our expectations at every point. It's a competition with myself. I know I'm ready to start.
Schedule release for the 2025 season continues. Hey, 3 teams from the NFC North made the playoffs.
Oh,
it's the most competitive division in the NFL. At ESPN.
odds to win the North. Look at that.
The Lions, a plus 135.
The Vikings is 360 plus to win the North. To win the North.
Between the first and last place for
Bears.
Division in the league, as you can see, it's just
Even.
really stacked in this division. Now the Lions enter this season with 2 new coordinators, and it's a playoff rematch for Dan Campbell's team against the Commanders in Week 1. Washington upset Detroit in the divisional round last year to end the Lions season. Also, in Week 10, the Packers have a playoff rematch as the defending Super Bowl champs head to Lambeau on Monday Night Football. The Eagles won 22-10 over the Packers in that wild card round, a season-low 10 points for Green Bay in that loss. Remember that on Monday Night Football. It'll be really interesting to see those two again. Of course, we'll bring that to you from Green Bay. Now, the Bears back on Monday night in Week 6 against the Commanders. A rematch of the Hail Mary game. Remember this? And Jaden Daniels won it in the final seconds in this incredible play. The Bears' season went downhill from there. You wonder if that play hadn't happened, if maybe it would have affected the Bears' season differently. But either way, the Vikings have the division's only new starting quarterback. As this season, J.J. McCarthy takes over from Minnesota after missing his entire rookie year with a torn meniscus. He'll make his first career start against Caleb Williams and the Bears in Week 1 on Monday Night Football. Dan, as you think about J.J. McCarthy...
Okay, so Vikings at the Bears. Week 2, they're at home against the Falcons.
We're going to put it all in your hands, J.J.
They be back home Week 3 against the Bengals. That's Week 6, they get a bye. Ooh. And the Packers come here on Christmas? No, the Packers come here at the end of the season? I figure Week 12 there at Green Bay. And the Packers will be here. I want to get a ticket for that game too. I want to be at that game too.
The defense don't matter. They're going to run their offense, and it's going to be a top 5 offensive line. They got as good a receiver as anybody.
Dang. Vikings got 2 final home games against the Lions and against the Packers. The final 2, 17 and 18. That was going to matter to them. Starting from Week 1 all the way up until 18.
Ben Johnson taking over there. If you look at a team that tried to do the most for their quarterback this offseason, you could make a case for the Bears, the way they've reshaped that O-line. They've added so
all right, y'all guys have a good night. I got to charge my phone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at T-Bechilln. And you'll be knowing a notification when I upload. Deuces. Have a good night. See y'all later.